If we just mention the skeptics, because I know obviously in this field you have your share of them.
Oh yes.
I mean, what would they have you published a paper on this parrot research?
Oh yes, yes. It's published. All my stuff's published in peer-reviewed journals.
Mm-hmm.
So normal science involves skepticism. So when you publish them, you have referees who read them and they check to see if there's any faults in the statistics and stuff. So they've all been vetted.
Yeah.
But there are a whole group of deniers out there, so-called skeptics, who are actually dogmatic believers in materialism, who think that psychic phenomena are impossible.
Right.
Now, those kinds of skeptics are not open to evidence, in my experience.
Right.
For example, when I did this parrot research, I published it, and there was a TV program about it on Discovery Channel.
Right.
And they wanted to get a comment from a skeptic, because in the media they always ask a media skeptic to comment.
Okay.
And they got Professor Lewis Wolpert, who's a biologist at University College London. And they rang him up and they said, Rupert Sheldrake's done this research and he says this parrot's psychic. And Wolpert just said, oh, it must be nonsense. And they said, would you like to look at the videotape of the experiment to comment? He said, oh, I don't need to see the evidence. He said, I know it's rubbish. And then he just appeared on TV and said, there's absolutely no evidence that telepathy exists in any animal or person or thing.
Yeah.
It's completely impossible.
Yeah.
And so the point is that kind of skepticism comes very cheap. I mean, he didn't need to bother to look at the facts. He doesn't need to concern himself with the evidence. He knows what he thinks. His mind's made up.
Yeah.
Well, I challenged him to a public debate at the Royal Society of Arts, there was a judge in the chair. And it turned out he knew absolutely nothing about this field, and he didn't feel he needed to because he was so sure it was impossible. Now, that kind of skepticism is what I encounter all the time.
Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to have somebody who says, I've looked at your data and maybe there was a mistake here and the statistics aren't right here and you could have designed the experiment better here. That's fine. That's normal science, and I'm used to that as every scientist is used to that.
Yeah.
But there's this kind of denialist skepticism which simply won't look at the evidence, and that I don't think of as real skepticism at all. It's a kind of dogmatic belief system.